Hello, I'm Wanderer001 and this is my comparison of the Amazon Echo Dot version 2 versus the Google Home Mini. Now, I was a little reluctant to do a comparison between the two, mainly because the hardware is really what doesn't change all that often with these two devices, but the software on both of these guys is constantly updating itself. So things that I mention here might not be poignant if you're watching this a great deal of time into the future. But I figured there are enough people asking what the major differences are between the two, so this can be a current snapshot of early 2018 comparative differences between the Google Home Mini and the Amazon Echo Dot version 2. Now, I will give you a quick hardware comparison between the two before we get into some of the software differences and things that I like and dislike about both platforms. Now, if you are looking for a definitive which is the best one, this isn't that kind of review. I'm going to give you all the information so that you can make an informed decision yourself. I will also be saying the trigger phrases to both of these devices several times, so if you have either of these devices already or their bigger brothers, you may want to turn those off now because you have been warned. All right, so starting off with the tops of these devices, you'll notice that on the top of the Echo Dot here, you have a mute button, a volume up, volume down, and a actuation, so you push that and you can trigger it without having to say the trigger phrase. There is also this light ring around the top here, and it is made of just plastic, hard plastic material. The Google Home, on the other hand, has this fabric material, which if I bring that a little closer, kind of see it is textured there. So that's really all that's going on the top here. Underneath, there are LEDs for when it's listening. The volume rockers on this one are touch sensitive on the sides there. So they kind of kept this clean interface for the top. Now, I've got mixed feelings about that. Hard plastic over here versus this textured top. Now, this Echo Dot lives in my kitchen. It was a little messy before I took it out to do the review. But guess what? Wipe, 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 because it's hard plastic, it doesn't look any worse for wear. If I had the Google Home Mini in there, I feel it would have been a different story. That's splitting hairs. Size-wise comparison, this is like a hockey puck. This is a slightly elongated hockey puck. Front of the devices here, this shiny plastic finish all around. Google Home Mini splits it into the fabric top here, and then you get into a plastic bottom. Both of these have a rubberized foot on them to help them from sliding around, but you will notice that when compared to the Echo Dot there, you could see that the Google Home Mini is a bit larger widthwise in diameter because, well, you know, there's more surface area. If we come around to the backs of these, and this is when things start getting much different, you will notice that there is a mute toggle on the back of the Google Home Mini here. Now you flip that, now it's muted. Flip it the other way, it's no longer muted. The mute button for this is right on top. You will also note that there is a micro USB port there, as well as a micro USB port on the back of the Echo Dot version 2. Now, what is lacking on the Google Home Mini is a 3.5 millimeter port so that you can do a line out audio. So this is where the hardware starts diverging. So with the Echo Dot, you could, if you wanted to, connect this to a better speaker. This one, you can connect to a better speaker too. However, you have to have a Google Chromecast audio plugged into that speaker, pair the Google Chromecast audio to this, and then you would be able to cast the audio from this to that speaker. And in that case, that's an extra step, an extra thing to do, an extra thing to buy also, as opposed to this where you could just take a line out and plug it into something better. Now, talking about the speakers, I'm not going to play you audio samples because both of the speakers aren't great. But if you want to know which one sounds better, I will give that to the Google Home. The Google Home Mini here has an upward facing speaker. It sounds a little crisper. You're not getting high dynamic range or anything out of it, but for a form factor this size, the speaker on this guy is better. This is a downward facing speaker. It doesn't sound as good. Both of them are going to be about like cell phone quality in my opinion. Nothing terribly great. But if you're an audiophile, neither of these are really going to be for you. You should get yourself a better speaker unless you plug this one into something better or you do those steps needed to make this one plug into something better. Keeping in line with our discussion about music services, Google Home Mini here obviously is going to try and push you towards your Google Music services. Same thing with the Echo here. They're going to try and push you towards those Echo services, so those Amazon services. So really, part of your decision is, are you more in the Amazon universe or are you more in the Google universe? Or do you kind of have a menagerie between the two? Just know that if you're a Prime member, you're going to have access to that Prime Music as well as some other features that the Echo will allow you to access, as well as if you are Google Music subscriber, Google YouTube Red, that's gonna come into play on the Google Home Mini here. Now, before I actually plug these guys in and start talking about some of the software differences between the two, let's talk about the plugs that come with them. Neither, in my opinion, is terribly great. Here you have your Amazon Echo plug. It is a wall wart that is detachable from a USB here. The Google Home Mini has its own non-detachable plug here. Now, this guy sticks out from the wall very far. If you look at it in comparison, the Google Home Mini's plug does not stick out quite as far. However, if you're looking at it from a used surface area, the Google Home Mini's plug takes up much more real estate in a wall socket or, power strips. So these are things to be considered. They both do come with 5-foot cables. Now, the one thing that I harped about with the Google Home Mini was that I got the charcoal or black variant and I got a white cable. Now, I know they said they put a lot of time into the fabric choices. Why didn't they put a lot of time into the plug choices? Now, as I had mentioned, I did harp on that in another video. So if you're looking for in-depth videos on either of these products, they can be found over in the little eye popping up in the corner right now. So now we have both these devices plugged in, so we're going to start talking about some of the software situations with them. Now, I will touch on one last hardware thing. Allow me to demonstrate. This is when the trigger phrases are starting, so mute your other devices or lower the volume on this video. Okay, Google. Cancel. Notice on the top here, this is illuminated. That is what tells you that it has picked you up. Now, there is a way that you can set a tone when it activates so that it can hear you. But if you're looking at it, thusly, okay, Google, cancel. You can't tell if it's actuated or not. On the top are not visible when looking at it straight on. Unless you're hovering over it like we are now, you're not going to be able to see if those are turned on. Now, like I said, you can turn a tone on, but the tone is not on by default, at least as of right now. The other thing is, to show you that they know this is a problem, is that Google has introduced a wall mount that places it thusly so you can see it. One of the other problems I have is, you probably saw me, I'm touching it to move it, and I keep tapping the volume rockers on the side. All right, so coming over to the Echo here, Alexa. Light ring right there. You can see this slightly bluer area. Cancel. Lets you know where it is pointing, which microphone is listening to you. This one only has one microphone, but Alexa, cancel. You can see right there, when looking at it from a different angle, it will be noticeable to you sitting on something. All right, so software-wise, they both do support multi-accounts. However, this one, your Google Home, just requires you to attach your voice print to it. This one you have to attach 2 different Amazon accounts and switch between the 2. My wife and I can use this one just by saying, hey, what's my schedule? And it will know. This one you have to switch the account. So that's a little bit of a hurdle in between. But for generic purposes, let's talk about like stupid stuff. So Alexa, roll a 20-sided die.
I rolled a 20-sided die and got 15.
Okay, Google, roll a 20-sided die.
You got it. You rolled an 11.
Alexa, flip a coin.
You got heads.
Hey Google, flip a coin.
Okay. It's tails.
Alexa, how high is Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore's elevation is 5,725 feet, 1,745 meters.
Okay, Google, how tall is Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore National Memorial is 60 feet tall.
So you'll notice this one gave you a little more information on that. This one kinda just, that's the question you asked. Google Home Mini is a little better for local things. So if I asked it, hey Google, what time is the CVS open?
CVS at 12 West Ramapo Road is open today from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Alexa, when's the CVS open?
The CVS on Route 304 is open from now until 10 p.m.
So you'll notice they did 2 different areas, but they both know my exact location. Now, when Echo first came out, it was not able to do something like that. That's what I'm saying. These products, the software is updating all the time because all these are the hardware peripherals that send your information to the cloud. Now, if you're worried about them listening to you all the time, like I said, that's what it looks like when this one's muted, and there's a toggle.
The mic's off.
In the back on this one that lets you know that it's off. Now, it's a little hard to see because it's bright out, but there is those red dots along the top there that let you know it's off, and you can see that one's red. Now, you did notice that I struggled a little bit
The mic's back on.
to find that switch in the back. So that's one of the downfalls of the hardware right there. So Amazon can add extra features on top of what Echo already knows based on skills. Google Home doesn't have skills per se, but it does have features that are added to it without you having to do anything. Now, one of the big ones that I tried out was finding my phone. Both of them can do it, but both do it differently. So, Alexa, find my phone.
Okay, I have a few skills for that. Let's try one. The tracker skill can help you find your lost phone. Try saying things like, find my phone. Now, what would you like to do?
Stop.
Okay, thank you for using Tracker.
Now, at one time, I did have a Tracker Bravo and the Tracker app on my smartphone, but I no longer have it on my smartphone. So that skill, which is the default skill for finding your phone, is kind of useless. But if we come over to the Google Home, hey Google, find my phone.
I found a few phones. The first listed is a Pixel 2. Should I ring it?
Yes.
All right, your phone should be ringing now.
And that was my phone ringing just off camera. Now, it will ring it even in silent mode, so that's kind of cool. Now, I do have 2 phones still listed on my Google account, which is how come it knows that. The Pixel 2, which just rang there, or review up there if you're interested, and a Moto X also over there. I've yet to remove the Moto X, but this can find your Google phone because, hey, you're using an Android phone, much easier than having a skill and an app and tying the 2 together. It's not a terrible thing, but it's just a demonstration of how the software differences between the 2 vary. Now, the primary reason I got the Echo here to start was for home automation. Now, they both handle home automation fairly well. However, again, in the implementation of how you connect to some of the home automation devices varies. Again, this is skills-based. For like TP-Link, there's a Casa app. You have to add a skill and then detect it, and then you find it, and it connects it. Google Home was a little different. TP-Link, you just had to log into your account under the Google Home app, and then you were automatically logged in. Wemo required me to go to a special website, push a button on a Wemo device, have this detect it, and then confirm that that was in fact my Wemo device. With this one, I just went discover devices, and it found the devices, and I was good to go. Now, with the setup, that's one thing. Triggering these is very different. Let me give you a demonstration. Hey Google, turn on my bedroom light.
Sure, turning on the bedroom light.
Hey Google, turn off my bedroom light.
Sure, turning off the bedroom light.
Alexa, turn on bedroom light.
Okay.
Alexa, turn off bedroom light.
Okay.
Notice in the triggering, they're both doing the same thing. Bedroom light obviously is off camera, but the Google Home tells you what it's turning on and off. The Echo just turns it on and off and says, okay. In some ways, I like that a little better because I don't necessarily need to confirm what you're turning on and off, just do it. So again, it's how it handles it slightly differently. Now, one of the big problems that I have with the way that Google Home handles some home automation stuff is when you're turning on multiple devices with a similar name. So let me show you what I mean with this. Comparing trigger phrases between Echo and Google Home. Okay, Google, turn on Christmas tree.
Sorry, I'm not sure how to help with that yet.
So that's because I don't have Christmas tree as the trigger phrase. Alexa, turn on Christmas tree.
Sorry, I didn't find Christmas tree.
Okay, so both of them realize that that's the wrong name. Hey Google, turn on Christmas lights.
You got it, turning the Christmas lights on.
Alright, so it took her a minute, but it did it. Okay Google, turn off Christmas lights.
Okay, turning off the Christmas lights.
Alexa, turn on Christmas lights.
Okay,
Alexa, turn off Christmas lights.
okay,
Hey Google, turn on Christmas.
You got it, turning on the Christmas lights.
Okay Google, turn off Christmas lights.
Sure, turning off the Christmas lights.
Alexa, turn on Christmas.
okay,
Alexa, turn off Christmas.
okay,
Now, this is the important one. Hey Google, turn on lights.
Sure, turning on 3 lights.
Notice how she said 3. Christmas light is on. If I scroll this way, bedroom light is on. And this light over here was already on, but when I come back this way and tell the Google Home, hey Google, turn off lights.
Sure, turning off 3 lights.
So you saw the living room light went off, then the Christmas tree, and if we come all the way around this way, bedroom light is also off. So we come back this way, and I'm just going to go turn on the living room light first. Alright, so now that the living room light is back on, if I ask Alexa, turn on lights.
a few things share that name. Which one did you want?
Christmas.
Okay,
So notice that the Echo asks for clarification as to which, instead of just turning everything on and off. Now, I know that's splitting hairs and it's software related, and Google has a chance to fix that, but just want to let you know. So you can see how Echo asks for clarification while Google Home just goes, yep, I'm going to turn them all on and off. So in my opinion, that's something that needs to be addressed. Now, it's a software-based thing, so saying my opinion about it right now, it could change in the future. Google Home might wake up and be like, hey, maybe we should change that, and that would be an awesome change to make. Now, you did notice that I was saying different trigger phrases for the Google Home versus the Echo here. Now, you can say, okay G or hey G, and that will trigger the Home Mini here. The Echo Dot will reply to the A, computer, or Amazon. Those are the three trigger phrases that you can change your Echo Dot to understand. It's not terrible, but in my opinion, the triggering for the Echo devices is slightly better. It feels a little cumbersome to say, okay, G, and then what you want. The Echo, it's like you're having a conversation with something. Wanderer, blah, 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 blah. Alexa, cancel. Notice how it just flows off the tongue as opposed to, okay Google, stop. It's an extra step, an extra wording. It's a little odd. Still trying to figure out what I'm talking about apparently. The sound of the assistant's voice on the Google Home sounds a little better in my opinion. The Echo sounds a little more robotic. The Google Home is definitely a little more chipper too. But both do stupid dad jokes. Hey Google, tell me a joke.
This might make you laugh. Did you hear about the world's largest pickle? It's a really big dill.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
What's Gumby's favorite part of a baseball game? The 7th inning stretch.
So, kind of gives you an idea of the voices that I was referring to and the fact that they both do very similar things. And while the hardware itself might not change from what you get, the software will change. There were several complaints that I had about the Echo early on. One being that I couldn't play a song on another Echo in another room, triggering it from this one. So if you have more than one, I couldn't say, hey, you play this on this Echo. They changed that. You can do that now. I'm sure Google Home, as it's out longer, will increase the abilities that it can do. So the big question is, hardware-wise, which one works better for you? Price point, they're both very similar. They're normally both $50. If you get them on sale, they can be as low as $30 to $35. Amazon tends to run sales on their Echo devices slightly more than you're going to find on your Google Home Mini here. So in the end, what's the final verdict? Again, I'm not here to say which one is superior over the other, just giving you information so you can determine. If I were to recommend one of these to somebody else, my first question would be, are you part of the Amazon universe or the Google universe? If you are entrenched in either one, that's which one you're going to pick. They both do similar things. They're both going to be about the same price. Whichever universe you're in, that's which one you should pick. If I was going to do this for somebody who's not in either one, the next question I would ask is, what do you want to use it for? Generic questions, Google Home wins. Do you want home automation? Currently, Amazon Echo wins. Are you just looking for something to be a white noise maker? Well, both of those can do that. So again, where are you going to keep it? If you're going to keep it somewhere that's really dusty or can get grease on it, Echo cleans up much easier. If you're looking for something that sits in your decor better in your living room, well, the Google Home has this nice fabric top and will probably blend in better, but you won't be able to see when it's triggered unless you mount it on the wall. So these are all things to consider. So it's hard to say which one would work best for you, but I'm trying to give you an example of what they can do so you can make your own decision. Because, well, I had this one originally and I'm like, you know what? I need to test this out and check it out. So I have been Wanderer 001. If you have any questions or comments regarding either of these, or, you know, something that I might have skipped in the review that you want to know which can do better, let me know in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.